First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. We're going to start out the day today with the chart of the SMH, which is semiconductor. Our good friend over there in Poland, Mike, is over there now. And he wanted to see what this chart looks like. You can see the 382 retracement we had about 2 weeks ago. We've had the big sell-off, much like we're looking at today, folks. This looks like a giant ABCD getting ready to form a whole lot lower is what it looks like for me. But, you know, as you know, I have a bearish bias. Now, the next one that we want to talk about here is from our good friend, Mr. Z. He's got a really good handle on this particular stock. It's Wheaton Precious Metals. I want to get it up here so you can take a look at it. There's something we can learn from this, and I'll show you that in just a second. But here is, you can see we're waiting for the ABCD here at the 78% level. That's a perfect ABCD, by the way, A, B, C, D. You can see the Gartley right here. That's your C leg. And then down here to your 78% level is where you'd want to be watching it. Now, the thing that's really exciting from a charting standpoint, folks, as you can see here from the far left, you see this A, B, C, D pattern? That looks like it totally failed, didn't it? Well, folks, when you see something like that, what you have to do is you have to extend your time frame out a bit. And so if you take that Wheaton Precious Metals and then just go to a monthly chart, you're going to see something that's going to be quite surprising to you, folks. They call it AB equals 3D, and there it is, right there at the high. That little bump here is where it looked like it didn't make it, but in fact it made it on the monthly. It just didn't make it, you know, on the daily or the weekly. So that's why you need to watch it. Here's where we are coming in right now. We're going to be looking just very shortly. We're going to be looking at a beautiful 1, 3, 5 pattern coming in here about $6 or $7 lower, and you got to pay close attention to it. Now, since we're talking about a precious metal stock, most of you know that take the 24/7, we have been very bearish gold for quite a while. We've been shorting it since 1865 and actually the last one was 1772, was a 382 retracement, but we've been sort of pressing it a little bit, and I wanted to give you a rough idea of the 382s today that from last night that we're seeing in gold too, because here it was a 382 on the high. We posted these in our 24/7 video that we sent out. All of these were done. I'm going to go through them one at a time so you can see the really value of it, because what we're going to be doing here on September 20th, I'm going to be doing my last full day trading session for the year, and it's going to be a good one, I believe. We've got active markets. My goodness, this is exactly what you look for. But you can see the perfect ABCD patterns in here just lining up, just so absolutely perfect. And now we got down to, guess what, folks? Our first buy signal in just about 3 weeks at 1717. We covered all 3 short positions, and we went long at 1717. I know it's not working right now. We have a $10 stop in it, but remember, we made $140 per ounce on the way down. And so actually a little bit more when you have 3 positions, but it was a good trade. Now, that's all it is. It's a good trade. Maybe the next 4 or 5 won't work, but that would work what we'd like for it to see. Now, if you get the 24/7 video, you'll notice that the number we were looking at was the 382 at 1717, and it's taken a long time to get here. So we had to be a buyer there. The stop is $10. So your stop is 1707. So you're risking $10. You made a nice piece of change on the others, but these may not work. You know, you don't know which ones are going to work. But another one that we talked about last night, and I want to get this up here and show you this part of the video that I sent was about the British pound, and the reason for that was because they have a new prime minister, and this market has been going down for a long time, and we said if this is any good at all, we are going to stop exactly at the 382, and we did. Within 5 pips, went 5 pips over the 382, and then the market sold off well over $700. That was the second one that we did. Now, boys and girls, I want you to get out your handkerchiefs and give the old cowboy a pat on the back for almost there, because this is the one that broke my heart. I'll show. I sent this out long before it happened, and I was asleep when it happened. The problem was I couldn't act until I got up, and by then it was $1 a barrel. Look what happened here, folks. It went to the exact, well, actually, the number was at 42 was the number. As you can see it right there. That's a 382, perfect ABCD there. Everything's perfect, okay? So what I did is I shaded by 5 pips, and they missed me by 1 pip. So 1 pip cost me $4,000. I could have resold it this morning, but I was busy selling the 382 in the Dow Jones and in the S&P, and the short bonds were working. Short bonds, you just put the order in, you're going to make money. But that worked okay. But anyway, those were 3 of them that we had, and we had one other that I think you want to be watching closely, and that is the euro. Here's what we talked about in the newsletter, to be watching just above the 110 level in the dollar index. And if you get this dollar index up on a half-hour chart, what are you going to see here? Bada bing, bada boom. Perfect. 1, 2, 3 drives to a top. Just absolutely perfect. These are the kind of things that I want to be doing on the 20th, because when I see those, we got 5 hours. There's going to be plenty of good trades in here. So we're going to be watching that one really, really closely, because it's a real beauty there, taking a really nice look at it. Now, all you have to do now is to reverse this and look at the euro, because if the dollar index is making a new high, the euro has to be making a new low. And so you put this up here, you get the euro up, and you're going to be seeing, just as we got to that 110.50 level, there was our euro making a low. Of course, we've rallied all the way up into this area right now. We rallied quite a bit for this, so this would have been a nice trade. Also, whether this is going to be long term or not, I don't know. I'm in the business of buying pork bellies one day and selling bacon the next. If I can get a pattern that tells me how much I have to risk, that's all I need to know. The ABCD pattern is number 1, it's risk control. Number 2, it's predictive. And number 3, it gives you a risk reward at least 3 to 1 in your favor. You can't ask for anything better than, well, you can, but you might not get it. Anyway, that's what we're looking at. We got a break coming up pretty soon. Our guest today is Norman, calls it to the minute, Winski. Tomorrow we have Paula Douglas Webb will be our guest. And on Thursday, we are going to have Rich, who hasn't been on in a long time, Anderson, talking to us about the grains. And on Friday, we're going to have David Paul. Peter Elides will be with us the week after this. And also in the middle of September, Mr. Jeff Huge will be our guest, as will Mr. Tim Boss. We'll be right back, boys and girls.
Of booming inflation, where your purchasing power is eroded, there's no better place to protect your hard-earned money than in gold. Vista Gold's flagship asset is the Mount Todd Gold Project in the Northern Territory of Australia. This is Australia's largest undeveloped gold project. We are talking a world-class gold project in a Tier 1 mining district. This is a large-scale, low-cost project with significant existing infrastructure in a politically safe and friendly mining jurisdiction. Vista Gold just completed the Mount Todd feasibility study, which resulted in a 7 million ounce gold reserve and a 16-year mine life. All of this, combined with the approvals of all major operational as well as environmental permits. This distinguishes Mount Todd as an attractive, de-risk partner, ready development stage gold project. Vista Gold trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol VGZ.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, I have posted a chart that comes from Stansberry Research. I don't know if you know Porter Stansberry or those dudes that do that stuff over there. They're the #1 marketing firm in the world. Their mailing list is in the millions, but one of their technicians happens to be a fan of You'll Never Guess. Trade what you see and AB equals CD. He doesn't put the ABCDs in here, but he sure talks about them. You see on the far left, folks, that little tiny blurb right there? That was October the 19th, 1987. The market rallies all the way up, makes a beautiful retracement here. Remember this low that we had in 2009, March 5th? That's a 382 retracement of the low from way back here. And there's your ABCD that has made it to its top here in January of 2022. That is perfect as far as price and time. In the middle here, I believe right there was the key day for me, because that was July the 15th of 2009. We made a 382 retracement, the first one, and I was in Clearwater, Florida, staying in Tom's penthouse condo that he generously gave the family for a couple weeks, and we were watching the sharks swim in the water 20 floors below, but it was really quite cool. But that was the bottom day. It was a big astral day. It was a Bradley model day, and it was also I believe it was an eclipse. So we had a lot of fun with that one. I had been doing the radio show since 2007, so I was 2 years into it, and I knew the market was going to go higher, but I had no idea it was going to go above 40,000 like it did, like it did. What did it make? 40,000? I don't think it did in the Dow, did it? It made 39,000. Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention, folks, do you know what their target on this is, folks? You see this little hash mark right here? They're looking for it to get to about 8,000 in the Dow Jones, 8 to 9,000 in the Dow Jones. And we're trading at 30,000 and change right now. Hello, operator. Pay attention, folks, because if these guys are right, and sometimes they're about a 50-50 guess on that, but that's what their prediction is. I brought that to your attention because it was such a beautiful ABCD that I think it was worthy for you to take a look at it, because it gives you a really strong idea that these markets are moving quickly. And when they do, you want to be very, very aware of this. Okay, now we're going to talk about the gift that keeps on giving, folks. And you'll never guess what it is. It is nothing less than our good old friends, the T-bonds. We're getting close, boys and girls. And with the market falling apart here and there, let's take a look at it. Wilkesboro, that's a BS call, Sarah. Sorry, boys and girls. Here is the, probably the best thing I ever did at TFNN was to warn you about negative interest rates. What a total crock of crap. Now they're talking 5-6%. Here's the beautiful 135 pattern. Here's the 382, folks, just 10 weeks ago, not even 10 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago at 146. We're almost ready to break a 132 handle, folks. We're at 132 and change. Our target on this is at 129, so we're really, really close. So we get down into this area, there's got to be a short, well, doesn't have to be, but there's probably going to be a short covering rally sometime this year, maybe 2 or 3 days, I don't know. But look how it's been following. Look at that 382 again. Boy, that's, if you don't do anything else this year, folks, and you're losing money, attend the thing on the 20th, because I'm going to go over that 382 with a fine-tooth comb, a brush, and a hair dryer, because we're going to get you to understand these things. Because look at them today, folks. It was 5 out of 6. The only one that didn't work was the S&P, because the 382 retracement came in after the low was made at 38.88, was at 39.12, and it went through that like it didn't even exist. But if you would have waited for the second 382, which happened just a little while ago up there at 39.26, then that would have been a really good one, because it's been dropping ever since. And whether it's still dropping or not, I don't know for sure, but at least that's what it was doing at that time. So we'll watch it as we keep watching through here. Folks, we've broken below the fib point of 39.03. We shattered it in the S&P. We shattered it in the Dow. We shattered it in the what do you call it, the NASDAQ. This market has got something wrong with it. We don't know what it is yet, but it's going to tell us really, really soon. So be really, really careful where you stand in here, folks, because by golly, these things can go a lot farther. And if a news item comes out that's really squirrely, it could be anything. Well, heck, maybe Ukraine's going to surrender, or Russia's going to surrender. I don't know. All I can tell you is you got to be really careful with these markets, because by golly, once they move, they move very, very quickly, as you can see. So let's move on here. And we've got a guest, Mr. Norm Winski will be our guest here in just a little bit here. But first, I have to change a little order for the old cowboy here, because I want to keep a little money in the pocket. Where is it? Holy moly, guacamole. Let's put this in here. Okay, now we get back to business. Let's move up here to see where we are. Someone had a question about, just let me get it up here, and I will talk to you about this. Let me get the chart back up here, folks. Sorry. No, it's still there. There it is. This 382 retracement was the 382 off of here. We also had an ABCD in this. We talked about this. You sell at 146. The high was 146.05. Folks, that's $14,000. That's the equivalent to 300 S&P points, all right, in a matter of 5.5 weeks. Make that 6 weeks. So interest rates are going higher. You can see it everywhere. Now we have a new prime minister over there in the UK. She's 47 years old. She outlasted the fellow who was 42. The first thing she did is to do what they do in politics here, is they give everybody a couple of $1 billion to spend on gasoline or whatever it happens to be. Folks, we live in interesting times. That chart that I posted you from Stansberry Research is a very important chart, because if it is correct, we're looking at something really, really dire, and we don't want to have anything like that happen. Dire is not good. We know that. And I'm going to do one other one here just to be safe, just to prove everybody that I let everybody know who's doing what. And Eventually, I'll get it right. Hold on just a second. Only got one more to go, and that'll probably be it. And there it is. This is the one from the Elliott Wave people that they sent out to us in early February. And they were saying that there was a potential, for a major high up in here. Look what the damage could be done here from where we could be, folks. If this is really something really nasty on the order of 2009, where we lost 85% of the NASDAQ percentage-wise. Remember in 1929, folks, of the 30 stocks in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, 16 went bankrupt. And later on, American Telephone, everybody has a telephone, right? They went bankrupt twice. So be careful. That's all I can tell you. Guess what? The main man, the talking man who knows it to the minute, Mr. Norm Winski, is coming up. We'll be right back.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we are chatting with none other than Norm Winski, Astro-trading out of Naples, Florida. Norm, how are you doing, my friend?
Great, Larry. Thanks for having me on your show. How are you doing?
Wow, living the dream on the green side of the grass. Listen, it's good to have you back. You had some good predictions the last time. What are you looking now? Tell us what you're seeing.
All right. Well, I'd like to review what I said last time. I think that's educational. We can learn how many, to what degree these cycles work and what they work on and so forth, and these cycles repeat. So it's important to know what they may have done in the past. So I came on your show last on August 22, in anticipation of we have about 2 windows, cluster windows, starting on the 23rd, the afternoon of the 23rd. As you see here, hopefully the folks can see my notes. And Saturn lined up with Neptune there the afternoon of the 23rd. And I said that would be coffee, copper, oil. By the way, if you want any help with any of these technical terms, give me a call. I'll be happy to help you with that. All free with the money back guarantee. Then you have Jupiter to the U.S. To the U.S. chart, appointing the U.S. natal chart. That is based on where the planets were on the 4th of July, 1776. Anytime we have that, we look at U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. And then that night, AC is after the close, PM is afternoon, AC after the close. Mercury was aphelion. Mercury is an 88-day cycle, and it's not, the planets go around the sun in elliptical fashion. Therefore, there's a point where they are at the closest point and the farthest point, and the farthest point is aphelion. Helios is from the Greek for sun. That's in the middle there. Aphelion. Major change in trend. Anytime you have Mercury, you want to be looking at the greens. Then we had that night also, we had Uranus in Taurus the Bull turning retrograde, and that's one of my top points also. And then we have, and you have the Uranus in Taurus. Well, Taurus is cattle, and Uranus is copper, and Taurus also cotton. So we look into those markets, and then we go to that weekend of the 26th, where we had a new moon in the sign Virgo. Anytime we have a new moon, full moon, we round up the usual suspects, which are financials, grain, precious metals, and because it was in Virgo, we are running a special on soybeans. Then we also had Mercury, a Mercury cycle that weekend, so that means we are going to be emphasizing the grains again. So here's the charts. Here's how it all happened. We had 3 points for corn. Our first point there on the night of the 23rd, and that was a little short-term top there on the corn. Then we went up and made the high of the month right there over the weekend of the 26th with the moon and the Mercury cycle, as you can see. And then the beans were even better. They had bigger swings in the beans. And the first point window for the beans was the night of the 23rd, and you had a little short-term top there. And then we had a bigger top over the weekend of the 26th, and that was a good for, I think it dropped about $1, or about 80 cents to $1 for $4,000 to $5,000. All right, now we had the wheat rallied up into our first window there for the grains, and that was a okay short-term top, and then we just kind of went sideways in this range here. So that's what the yellow box says, not doing anything, because we look to trade on the opening immediately following the Astro event, and at that point you couldn't really tell whether you're going to go up or down. Here's the rules of the game. If we're going up, we look to sell. If we're going down, we look to buy. It's going sideways, we do nothing. There's cattle kind of going sideways there for several days, so we did nothing. With cotton was pulling back there into our window, the Uranus turning retrograde, and that right there, and so that was a short-term low there, and you had a nice rally. And as you know, Larry, cotton's a big ticket item, so every penny is worth $500. So I think it moved up about 4 cents there from 112 to 116. So that's about $2,000 in about 3 or 4 days. There's copper going absolutely sideways, so we did nothing. Silver going kind of sideways here. It was kind of confusing. So you'd be, if you sold it against that high, you're selling it at the bottom of the bar. Don't like that. Don't like the chase trades. So it did nothing. Here's gold going up. That's a little clearer. And that was the day before that top there, before it went down, and you had a chance to make some money there. That was a miss on the gold right there, where it just kept going down. Here's crude oil. It just kept going up. Had our signal been over here, we would have been 1 day ahead of that top, but that's not the way it was. It was on the afternoon, so that's outside our time window, and so we had to mark that as a miss. Here's the S&P. This is lots of sideways here for these 4 points here, so that's all no-go. And then we had 2 misses here on the way down over here for the S&P. And all the other markets were pretty good. T-bonds, you had making a low here before it popped up there. You had a chance to make a little bit of money. And then even better here over the 26th weekend with the new moon. Made a top there, and then you had a pretty good drop there for the bonds. Here's all these charts, by the way, over the Labor Day, done over the Labor Day weekend. Here's the dollar making a top there on the U.S. point. Had a little bit of a short-term top there. It popped up for the new moon on the weekend of the 26th, and then you had a little short-term top there. Here's the Aussie dollar. Had a nice 1 to 2 day pop here on off the new moon. Here's the British pound, just kept going down. Here's the Canadian dollar. It was like the Aussie, had a little 1 to 2 day pop up there off the moon. And here's the euro just going sideways. And then the yen continued lower. So if you add up all the green arrows and red arrows, we had 15 winners, 6 misses out of 21 for 71.43%. Here's what's coming up this past weekend. We had Venus perihelion. That's Venus, a 225-day cycle around the sun, and para means near. So Venus was at its closest point to the sun over the Labor Day weekend, and we were expecting a low for the stock market, and I'd have to go look at all the different charts, whether they were at a low or a high or going nowhere. And if they were, then we would expect a reversal. If they were going somewhere, either going up or down, we expect a reversal on these other markets. You can check them yourself. I'll hopefully be back sometime to review these. Mercury now, the next big window is coming up at the end of the week. Mercury is in Libra and will be turning retrograde, and Mercury is the grains. By the way, the stocks, everything applies to the stock market, so I don't even bother to say that every time. Just assume the stock market for all these points. Okay, the commodities are narrow filters. The stock market is the big basket, everything, therefore it tends to respond to anything and everything. Okay, so we had the grains due this coming weekend, corn, soybeans, sugar, and because in Libra we have sugar and wheat. Of course, wheat is a grain, I know. And then we have a full moon the same weekend, so we have Mercury turning retrograde on a moon. It's a cousin to one of your all-time favorite windows, Larry. May 18th, 19th, 2015. You
were on the air that day, my friend. I remember very well.
That was the Mercury was turning retrograde on a new moon, so this is like a close cousin, and that turned out to be the high day of the year.
I remember it very well. I remember it. Hey, listen, we got to take a break to pay a few bills. Can you stay with us for another segment?
Absolutely. Thank you.
We'll be right back with Norm Winski, folks. Astro-Trend.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Okay, we're back, folks. We're speaking with none other than Norm Winski of Astro-trading out of Naples, Florida. Can you please continue, my friend?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We have a question.
Question.
The question is the importance of Mercury going retrograde to all astrologers. What is that based on, Norm? Do you know?
I'm not going to speak for all astrologers. I can only speak for my 50 years of experience, so I'm not going to.
Well, let's use that.
Okay. So it's all these things tend to, generally speaking, all these things tend to bring a turn. If the planets change trend, the markets change trend. It works about 75% of the time on average.
Okay.
Does that answer the question? And the Mercury is particularly important. Wait, let me finish.
The question that the gentleman had was that Mercury takes 88 days to make its trip around the sun.
That's from the point of view of the sun. Mercury is it gets changed when you look at it from the point of view of the Earth. Mercury turns retrograde about 3 times a year. That's a geocentric from a point of view of the Earth phenomena. It only occurs here on Earth. Okay? It's a retrograde has to do with relative motion of the planets, Earth to the other planets. Like when you're driving on the highway, you're doing 60, and you're going along fine, and then you look out your side window, and all of a sudden you have the impression you're going backwards because somebody is passing you. That's what's happening here. A planet is passing another planet, or we're passing a planet, and it gives you the impression that we're either, there's a moment, the most important moment is when it appears it stopped its motion, like throwing a ball in the air. It's not going up, it's not going down. When the planet looks like it's stopped, that's called a station point. When it gets ready to change its direction, this is all apparent motion, how things appear physically. If you look down at the solar system, it's not doing that. But Einstein would say apparent motion is relative motion, and that's important. Okay.
That sounds good.
Did that answer the question?
Yes, sir. Please continue. We're moving in the right direction, as Mercury would say.
So we got I was mentioning the full moon with the Mercury retrograde over the 9th weekend. AC is after the close, so that'll be on the weekend. We also have Jupiter to the U.S. chart. So we got 3 big events over the coming weekend. That's to the U.S. And let's see. I was going to talk about. Let's see. Okay. So, I know. I'll throw in a little extra story here, Larry. So you were talking about, I know you like to talk about 1987, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you mentioned this for been a while now, but, I had accumulated, I was a Chicago floor trader. I bought the big CBOE membership there back in late 74. And I committed to do that, and then you'll get a chuckle out of this, Larry. Being an Aquarian contrarian, I was there I drove from Terre Haute. I was a in my senior year, the Indiana State University, doing finance and economics, and I committed to buy the membership for $25,000. And so on the Friday, the 6th of December of 1974, I driven to Chicago to take my membership exam. You probably had to do that at the Merck where they give you a test, make sure you know the rules of the exchange, right?
Did.
So I was there on that day, and you know what happened on Monday? Monday was the big low. Dow Jones got to 570.
That's right.
Yeah, that week, a New York Stock Exchange membership, that week of the low, New York Stock Exchange membership got to hit $35,000, down from its peak in 29 of $555,000. That's not even adjusted for inflation. And this is one of my favorite little stories. And it also came out on the news that a New York taxi cab medallion, that was the license to drive a cab in New York, went for $50,000. So the marketplace was telling you that your chances of making a living were better as a New York cab driver than as a member of the New York Stock Exchange. So anyway, so I went back to, so after that weekend, I went back to school, and I went out to my favorite Attitude Adjustment Center. You know what that is, Larry? That's a fancy name for a bar where you hang out with your friends, right?
Never did that kind of stuff, but go ahead.
What's that? I don't know. What's that? Did
never
you
do
ever
any
go to
bar
Cunningham's or Crawford there, Larry?
No.
That was one. What's that?
I remember, yeah, but I didn't drink till I was 30, so I had wine only, so I don't.
All right, well, during my time, that was a favorite of my friends to go hang out. So anyway, one of my old drinking friends came up to me and said, "Oh, Norm, I haven't seen you for a while. You're a senior, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah." So what are you going to do when you get out of school? So I'm thinking of getting into the stock market. And if you remember in the early 70s, Larry, America hated business, and the business they hated the most was Wall Street. This guy was ready to call the funny wagon and had me hauled away. He thought, I'm sure they thought I was crazy, you know. I was buying
crazy smart,
getting my seat right at the bottom of the market there, you know. Anyway, so the fast forward on the 87, I'd been there for 12 years. I was getting to be an old man there in my mid-30s, you know. And the market looked bubbly to me, and then I read about the Mayan harmonic convergence. 6 planets were going to line up on Sunday, August the 24th, all around 0 degrees of Virgo. Okay? And I decided that that's it. It wasn't as much fun as it was there in the early days. It was all getting corporate there at the SIBO, and they were, hiring boring MBA types back in the early days there. The best traders were the cab drivers and the newsstand guys. It was all entrepreneurial people, and they were a lot of fun, And it was we went from free meals to now come to our $200 a plate dinner. You had to get a tux. So it wasn't my kind of environment anymore. So I decided it was time for me maybe to go. I'd also bought 2 other seats. I had a mini board of trade seat. I paid about $12,000 for it, and a mini option seat. The CBO had bought out the Midwest options, and that went for about $12,000. And those were all going for a lot more money. And I sold all the memberships there between August the 25th and October the 1st in anticipation of a possible 29 style crash, because the planets were lined up and the market looked bubbly to me, and I was getting tired of the place, So there you go.
Norm, was it true that there were more bankruptcies on the Board of Trade and the Merck on that day of the 19th and 20th of October than ever before? Did you remember that?
I don't know about the record. I know the CBOE. I've looked it up on the internet. I think, the clearing firm I was with, which was the largest, First Options, maybe you knew First Options, Larry, that they went, I think they had about $110 million debit.
Yeah.
They went under for about $110 million. And that's a whole story there because they were at the time. Days. I'm sorry?
That's a clerical error these days.
Yeah. Those numbers look small now, but they were huge back then. And they were all, at the time, Larry, you might remember, they were owned by Spear Leeds had bought First Options from the O'Connor brothers, and then they, in turn, sold it to Continental Illinois Bank, right? Yes. Continental Illinois Bank went under in '84, and so the government was running that bank. And they ended up with this clearing firm, First Options, and there were all kinds of rules about Chinese walls and all that stuff. They could only loan so much money to the clearing firm and all that stuff. They had to bend the rules. They had to bend the rules to
those are good stories. Hey, listen, can you stay on for just a second and tell the folks how they can reach you when we come back from the break?
I would love to do that.
You get 2 minutes of commercial time. How's that?
That's great. Thank you.
That's a Big 10-4 for Norm Winski, folks. Let's give him a standing ovation here with one hand clapping.
Vista Gold owns and operates the largest undeveloped gold project in Australia, the Mount Todd Gold Project. Vista Gold just completed their feasibility study, resulting in a 7 million ounce gold reserve. Vista Gold has all major permits approved and has retained CIBC capital market assistance in evaluating alternatives and in completing an accretive transaction. Vista Gold trades on the NYSE American and TSX under the ticker symbol VGZ. Vista Gold, executing a strategy to create shareholder value.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, we're back, folks, chatting with Norm Winski of Astro-trading. Norm, how can the folks reach you?
Thanks for asking, Larry. I'm in sunny Naples, Florida. Well, most of the time. Summer, it rains most of the days. We got, my phone is 239-594-3939. That's 239-594-3939. Email nwinski, NWINSKI @AMBARQ. That's MAIL.com. Or nwinski_1 on Skype. If you look at the notes, hopefully you can see on the screen there, it's all there. And if you contact me, I'll go through and help you with any of these terminologies, give you a free class, send you the notes, whatever you'd like. And, if you mention Larry, it's all double your money back guarantee, and it's all free with a double your money back guarantee. Right, Larry?
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty good idea. Listen, we'll have you on again soon. Just let us know when you see something that you'd like to talk about, and we'll have you on.
That sounds great. Everybody have a great week, and fasten your seatbelts when we get to the end of the week here.
That's going to be crazy. That's for sure.
I was looking for a low in the stock market today. Looks like that's getting taken out.
Maybe it'll be on the Mercury retrograde on Thursday.
Oh yeah. Well, if we rally into the weekend, then we're looking at an important top. If we go down into the coming end of the week here, all week, they'll be getting pretty oversold. Then we might have a good bounce the following week. You know, that's how I see it. All right, so looking forward to helping some of your folks, Larry. Thanks a lot for having me on.
Thank you, Norm. We'll see you again soon. Norm Winski, folk Astro-Trends. We'll see you on the flip side tomorrow. Our guest will be none other than Paula Douglas, always informative, good stuff. And so we'll see you on the flip side tomorrow, boys and girls. And live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.